Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of GNN. Today is August 28th, 2024, and we have another banner night on our hands here. But before we get into the details of our brand new mobile suit, let's go over some news. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the 6th year anniversary post-event is ongoing as the month draws to a close. So just to kind of recap things for those of you guys that are new, I know you guys can see the main event, which we'll get to shortly. We do have a custom parts guaranteed supply drop going right now during the first event. That was the first event that we had. Currently right now, I believe we have a special closing event exclusive step-up supply drop for one random hand-picked 4-star guaranteed in the special step up. So the first step being the 10 consecutive at a discount, with the next 2 steps being 2-star supply drop rates plus the third step being a 3-star mobile suit guaranteed, can be a dupe as well. And then the last one being a carefully selected 4-star mobile suit guaranteed out of the ones that you see in the illustration. So it could be the new Gundam HWS, the heavy weapons system type, the DJ Traversia, Shara's little special suit before he ended up switching stuff again. We got C-Packs in that middle there, High New, and the Rosen Zulu. On top of that, we have a limited special mission ongoing right now for all you guys that play this on the regular. So a special chance to get the Uma Lightning pilot suit if you didn't get a chance to get that already. I believe that's what that is, if I'm not mistaken. It is a little bit of that modernized Londo Bell-esque, like I want to say late UC 0080, early UC 0090 pilot normal suit. So we do have a chance to get the level 2 ZZ from Sleeves version. And then that used to be a clan suit, so this is your chance to get that level 2 as well. I think the level 4 Uma Lightning Gelgoog, as well as Rick DS, and I think the Gunner Gundam level 4. So there's a lot of other things going on. Pretty cool stuff that's ongoing. And then on top of that, we have the Reinforced Container Recon Team, so which means during this closing event, the Recon Team chance for Recon Containers, the little lovely crates that drop after every mission, are up to 25% and guaranteed to be silver or better. So you could get tokens, you could get dupes, you can get even recycle tickets, but even more, you can probably get that suit that you've been missing. You never know. It's always random. And then of course we do have that extra mission during dailies, which give you 2-star, 3-star mechanic tickets. Really cool stuff, especially if you are tuning those special suits. Really neat stuff. Closing out, if you didn't get it already for the 7 days, this is your chance to also get the Hobby Hyzak, a native 400, and I think this is also in 450 now, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, it might be 350. It's been a while since I've ran it, but it's an interesting suit. It's a little underpowered considering the lineup of suits that are at that cost range that it sits in, because it doesn't really have anything as far as downtime wise to really kind of do the dance with the enemy. In certain cases, its main focus, its main shtick is to just swing its big axe at people. So, but regardless of which, it is still a fun, very fast suit too, if you can get around that. So, our main event here for tonight's mobile suit update is the RX-121-1 Hazel Custom with the Icarus Unit. Now, the reason why this looks so familiar for some, and maybe awkward for some people, is this is what would be the precursor to what we would get with the Bylorant. So everything that you see in future Titans engagements in Zeta Gundam basically went through in some shape or form through the Hazel Custom. The Hazel Custom literally tested everything. So you think, of course, this doesn't really bat an eye compared to future UC like Cough F90, but you could say it's a very similar process for the Titans test team and the Hazel unit. This is, as we get into that, a 3-star unit. It's a raid at 550, but before we get into even more details, because I got some more stuff to talk about, that's how excited it's pretty cool to see. We do have a limited supply drop. Yes, I can see people's eyes are rolling. for the Perfect Gundam Thunderbolt, which is now at 600. I don't think it's going to be scary at 600, but at the same time, I know some people are pretty scary with that, so I don't know. Well, if you don't have it, this is your chance to get it now. No discounts, so obviously it goes without saying, pull at your own risk, because there's no pity rolls on this one here. Okay. On top of that, as I mentioned before, we have that 6-year anniversary closing event that's going on right now. Pretty cool stuff. For the premium login, we got some neat stuff as well, some tokens, some DP, and it looks like, I think if to be told, it looks like B packs is during the first during this first week, which includes August 31st. So it'll be B packs, it'll be the Shikikai ground type, and the dominance level 1. So especially if you haven't got your platinum medals yet, or you don't have these suits, you probably want to get those platinums done. Okay, we have some changes to the DP. Oh no, not even DP yet. We're actually in the recycled ticket counter. Sorry, I'm super excited for all this stuff. It's just been an overload. Overload of stuff, which we'll get into shortly too. But so for recycled ticket counter changes is as follows. We have the Gaza E now there in the recycled ticket counter, as well as the Venerable, the God tier, the S tier, the tier that will wreck GBO2, the only suit that wrecks everything, the Venerable Zoc at level 4. Don't tell me it can't do it. We just need to slap some rockets on there, take it into space, it's perfectly fine. I'm kidding. Anyways, but that's my spiel on that. No changes to the DP exchange counter, not even parts, so a little unfortunate, but that's what it is. New situational battle has been added. It's called Tiger Bomb's Dream, which if we get into this here, it is, I think this is a double Zeta reference, because we have an Agu guy picking a fight with a Zagok. So I think this might be a double Zeta reference, because we have a Rigelgu, an Agu guy, Zaku 1, Zaku tank artillery, and the Zogok, which might be for Neo Zeon. The Zaku 1 will have a extra skill called Close Combat Program, which I believe it might be something obviously with its melee. There are obviously certain things with that. It could be, I don't recall the skills off the top of my head, but that would be pretty cool for making it a little more viable, especially with the stuff that's for the AU right now, which we have Zeta, Mark II, Act Guy, Zagok, and a Gog. That's definitely a combination for sure. But yeah, if you do during this first week, the Rigelgu level 1 will be a reward plus some DP dough, and then the Mark II obviously being the second week, following week after that. So our main event, as I mentioned before, is a 550 3-star raid, usable on ground and space. Originally, I think with the atmospheric unit that they threw on there, because I did some reading beforehand before this even became a thing, just because I love the designs. This was built with atmospheric flight in mind, at least with the with what would become with the Byler. It wasn't like a re-entry type of thing. It was more of just like different way of getting around in a mobile suit. So yeah, as I mentioned, 550 cost raid unit, equipped with the Icarus optional flight unit developed while researching the possibility of unassisted flight while in a mobile suit configuration. In its early phase, the development project was aimed to achieve flight using lift and thrust provided by a large wing unit equipped with a new type of engine. Yeah, they showed the prototype version of this. It looked kind of weird because it basically looked like some of the plane stuff that you saw in Thunderbolt. Also kind of remind me of some of the seed designs. Like, they're very rough. Not literally seed designs, but you get with like that sort of big giant wing backpack. You know, it's their style. So but that's kind of what it reminded me of. But basically, due to the poor aerodynamics unique to the mobile suit configuration, it was discovered that moving freely in 3 dimensions would be too difficult, so the plan shifted to achieve and maintain flight mode via powerful thermonuclear jet engines equipped to the lower half and thermonuclear rocket engines on both shoulders to provide high thrust. As a result, the flight unit evolved into a large equipment option that covered the entire body. Although it doesn't reach the level of SFS flight or the Ashmar, its flight capability without depending on a SFS is superior to that of a contemporary mobile suit. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. It does have a unique sub-weapon called Beam Deflector. Basically, from what it looks like, it's gonna be very similar to kind of like a forward-firing eye field generator, kind of like the Sisquid, I almost want to say. But that's what it looks like. It reduces the damage taken by beam attacks around the beam reflector. Also staggering caused by accumulated damage, and damage reactions are reduced. So it's weird because it has that, plus I'm assuming it's going to have maneuver armor as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see what players pull with this, and to see the actual weapons. But if you happen to be wanting to do 10 pulls and you haven't had the chance to get the full complete Titans Ensemble normal suit, this is your chance to get one. I actually rocked this during the early days of GBO2 because, well, we didn't quite have color options and stuff. But yeah, really cool stuff. I can't wait to get into that. And of course, like I said, we have the Perfect Gundam Thunderbolt 2, level 2 at 600. So let's get into the nitty gritty. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with our brand new Icarus Hazel Custom. Might as well call it the Hazel Icarus Gundam. I don't know, it's definitely a tongue twister, but the icon looks pretty cool. It's very similar to the high mobility form. I almost would say it's kind of comparable in the sense in roles, but I feel like in the same breath it's probably a lot better because you have that added verticality. So jumping into the thick of things, actually right off the bat, just in this context of conversation, it has a lot more HP right off the bat, 20k rate HP right off the bat. Ballistic resistance at 19, melee resistance at 17, but high beam resistance right off the bat, so you probably don't really have to add too much per se, but you probably want to get a little creative with some of the builds there. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do this myself. Probably trial and error, to be fair, but I don't know, we'll see. Definitely a lot more leanings into range strength, which you can kind of see some of the thumbs there. Definitely I would agree in that sense. It's gonna have a little more range power as well. That's not to say that it can't swing on people, because the melee strength is still decent. Comparing it to the likes of the high mobility form. Let me look at this. Yeah, it's still pretty low. So like, yeah, if we take, so it's like 28, 24, not that far behind. Very similar powers, I would say, although I do believe, yeah, base power, there's a lot more breathing room range-wise. Going into movement speed, like we were looking at, ironically enough, the Icarus actually walks a lot faster by 5, but right off the bat, better turning speed, plus the thruster gauge is a little more forgiving too, so you know, a little more breathing room, as well as, like I said, turning speed. It does get a little bit faster, assumingly in space, but on top of that, if we look at the custom part slots there, it's a little more reminiscent of the actual base Hazel Custom, which means it's gonna be a little bit weird trying to play Tetris with this, because if you look at like an arrangement at the 550 range, and what we get with the Icarus there, sure, the values are not the same, but trying to fit stuff when most of your space is either in between close and long, and nothing really in the medium, it does kind of make you have to really think about your choices of what you want to throw in there, not only to do the job, but really accentuates the suit's strength. So going into the base primary, with the base range primary, we have the long rifle variant for the Icarus unit. This is probably more likely, I think, based on what I was able to read up, I think it's more likely a prototype version before we get the unique blade rifle that we're used to seeing with the long rifle there. Base power 2200, 5 shots, 500 meters, so very similar engagement distances as well. 5.5 seconds cooldown time, just kind of look at things really quick. Very similar straight down the line if we look at the standard Hazel beam rifle, even the long blade rifle, very similar ballpark ranges there, although values are a little bit different. Reload time is 14 comparing to 11 on the standard beam rifle, and then 15 on the final one there, so kind of similar. This one's also able to charge, and it looks like based on that you can still shoot the stun. You will have to stop for focus fire, but it'll penetrate mobile suits and deal continuous damage, so this is an irradiate type of mechanic. Focus fire consumes multiple rounds of remaining ammo, so very much the same mechanic as found in the standard Hazel beam rifle. Going into the primary beam saber, 2300, 2.5 seconds down swing downtime there. Based on this, it looks like it's pretty standard. Anything less, if it was like a 2-second, it'd probably be really quick to get in there, but probably would clash with the primary role, what this suit's supposed to do. On top of that, if it was anything longer, obviously it would be kind of horrible a little bit. Comes with the bullpup machine gun version for this unit. 7-second reload time. Cooldown time between shots is a ½ second, so it probably is burst fire if I'm not mistaken. I saw a little bit of the clip there showing off or rather showcasing the suit. It actually has a lot more range than the standard bullpup, because jumping into not that one, but our boy here, 250 is the base. Of course, the damage values are different. This one actually hits harder with a little bit more breathing room. 40 shots, so yeah, burst fire for sure. But at the same time, yeah, this thing's gonna be pretty nasty if you let it do its job. But yeah, very slow, very short cooldown time as far as like the reload time, excuse me. So really eager to see what this does. Of course, that venerable beam reflector that we saw earlier. Basically, I'm assuming it's not really an instant overheat, but I think it's gonna be kind of like the same mechanic that we get with, like I said, the Sisqueed's eye field mechanic with its gun, and then it probably goes down over time, very similar to that and that of the eye field pyramid that we get with new Gundam and stuff. Very similar. 18-second cooldown time. Basically helps mitigate some of that incoming fire there. So interesting, very interesting. But it definitely feels like you can spam it, kind of like the same mechanic that people do when you're playing like the regular standard in a Freight DS. So yeah, when it's up, you want to probably use it when you're in engagements or you're trying to like reposition and stuff and you're under fire. I can see that. This also has a Sturmfoster, a club as they call it. Base power of 1800, obviously the one shot at 250, which very much overlaps with the bullpup there. 13-second cooldown time, because basically, you know, it's instantly reloading when you're firing. So it's gonna be a nice follow-up to either stun enemies that you can't really confirm with melee, or, you know, your team's making those opportunities and you just want to contribute. Yeah, I can definitely see some follow-ups with that. And then on top of that, the venerable shield booster on its back, no less. So this will definitely help with that high-speed movement with the shield booster control. Therefore, going into that, we have the lovely shopping skill. So high-speed movement is definitely kicked up to 220. So very much like the Hazel Custom there. Loses the shield, it drops down to 205, but the big difference is that this thing still has maneuver armor, which we're looking at sitting at 2, so you do have a lot of the same key points that you normally would see with a, you know, typical raid. So Assault Booster has quicker boost up time, quicker jump charge time, booster time basically. This has MBOC level 2, so this is actually moving at 66 in space. Yeah, very curious to see how this does in space. Force Injector 2, only 2 swings on this one, sadly. But then again, like if you look at the kit so far, it is one of those range fighters. But at the same time, you know, don't dismiss those opportunities to get those swings into, especially if the opportunity presents itself, because you have anti-blast stabilizer. You have shoulder buffers at level 3. Mitigating that damage by 30%, back buffer by 30%, leg buffers at 15%, yet shield break mastery as well. Light system 2, So I don't know how this gauges up per level, but yeah, that's I would assume, yeah, reduces the thruster consumption. I think the normal one just allows for flight mode, and then it increases, you know, damage increases, so the chance of damage, basically stun build up and everything. But the second one obviously affects thruster consumption, so that's pretty cool. High spec flight control, syncs flight mode movement and melee attacks to vertical direction. Smooth, high speed, normal movement transitions for improved air combat, lowers attack power. During flight mode, increases damage while not moving by 50%, also reduces thruster consumption and stagger from cumulative damage. So I think what you're going to be able to do is find a nice vertical area to kind of set up and just, you know, oh, somebody's trying to set up and hide? No, too bad. You're just gonna snipe them, I guess, or something. I don't know. That's the impression that I see with just that skill alone. And I think this is like the first time seeing the existence of something like that. So, looks good on paper, but we'll see. But just to kind of reiterate things on top of that, yes, this has priority 3 as well. So, for those of you guys that want to have that as a extra backup, yeah, this has priority 3. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to build, because even at first glance, I don't even know where I want to begin because of the where the numbers are and everything. I think it might be going into melee, to be fair, but at the same time, like, since it's gonna be sitting at distance, maybe probably a little ballistic wouldn't hurt. But you know, we'll have to see how that plays out so far. Alright, folks, with that said, that concludes tonight's banner night news of our brand new Hazel Custom Icarus unit. I want to know what you guys think about this. So far, it's a very thick boy. I've heard some very interesting comments. The fact that, you know, it's its long-lost father to the Bilerant and then some. I mean, this thing's got, like, vents and other thruster ports for days, and I don't even know if my standard colors will actually fit this or not, but it's definitely got a lot of things going. So I want to know what you guys think, what in terms of like the performance, if it's a contender or not. I'm kind of curious to see if it's good enough to actually hang in the likes of clan matches, where it's really a platform or a area that really puts suits in their place, as far as like if they're capable of just kicking butt, because that's gonna be a thing for sure. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you found it informative, please don't hesitate to hit that thumbs up and leave a comment below and let me know what you guys think. Until then, I will see you guys all on the next video. Take care and good night.